You be
Yes, we went through the election coordinating committee. We wanted the funding member. So the ECC, which is the election coordinating committee, is the biggest domestic election observer group in Liberia.
Sure.
So we deploy more than 3,000-4,000 persons at every election, and we're going to do more this year. Our plan now is every polling center will have observer.
Okay.
We're gonna do that. We're also going to work in partnership with our partner institution called Leon, Liberia Election Network, to deploy to make sure that where ISIS cannot go, Leon can be there. So we cover the entire country, and we can have fresh information data that will help stabilize and then conflict or potential conflict that will come out.
Well, the way things are going in the country, most especially with security matters, moving to these elections, you think, what's your thought? Do you think it's going to be a bit brutal? You think it's going to be an election that will cause chaos and violence to pools?
So where you see conflict in elections are immediate to area, right? To the campaign period and during the announcement of result. That's where you see actual conflict of violence. So what the National Election Commission has to do is to work with the security apparatus to ensure that you protect opposition candidates.
Okay.
No ruling party should feel that the country belongs to them. That's the mistake. No government should feel that when you become a government, it means that your party is in power. No, the party is different, the government is different. You need to protect every candidate that contests in the election. Provide security for them. And make sure that you guard them as to where to go, when to go there, how long to be there for, so that you can conflict. The second thing is make sure that opposition have access to public buildings. In our country, when you're opposition, you go run campaign in one building, like the town hall in Beacon somewhere, they deny you because you're opposition. We can't do that. We need to make sure it's open. People have access to the radio station, whether it's the national radio station. People have access to the public building. People have access to everything that will ensure the election is free, fair, and transparent.
Okay.
With the level of militancy in our country, it's worrisome. Where we keep making young people feel that becoming militants to be very intolerant and respectful, then we lead into violence. Then I can guarantee that our election will be violent. Now, if we make our militant to be there to educate people on our party, the belief of our party, the ideology of the party, and what is it the party is doing different from other political parties. And if we run our campaign based on issues, then we can reduce the number of violence.
Okay.
If people start using money to buy votes, and people believe that election is about getting what you can get and vote, that will be the wrong thing we're doing. So it's a lot of work we need to do. The media, the civil society, we all need to get involved into making sure that we educate people on the quality of leader that we need.
With the new system they're trying to bring on board, the biometric system, and as it stands, we have few months, to election. There are people in the rural part of the country that do not know how that system works. You think it's going to be a bit difficult? Now, no education, no publicity?
It's going to be actually difficult because, one, you have the census coming in October.
Okay.
Then after census, you get the voter registration coming. So people could be confused. But actually, our thought was the biometric stuff should have been used for the central election.
Okay.
Right. If we want to use the biometric for the 2020 central election, we want to identify fault.
Sure.
We're going to identify what our challenges and work on it before a general election. You're going to election where you're going to do election for senator, representative, president. With a biometric system that has now been tested, it's never been used in Liberia before. Our reading now will take 10 minutes to register one person in the biometric system.
Okay.
10 minutes. So it's a lot of work we need to do. How do we identify people who will come from out of the country? How we identify foreigners? What material are we going to carry? Are we going to show a national identification card? Are we going to show a passport? What is it we're going to show to qualify out that we are Liberian citizens that reach the age group to register in a biometric system?
Okay.
What document are we going to carry? When people don't know all these things, become problem. If you say passport, how many people have passport? If you say national identification card, how many people have national identification card? How are you going to ensure that those who are going to register in the system are Liberian? What are you going to do? So these are issues that we need to talk about. The National Election Commission need to be on the radio to communicate exactly what it's thinking about, what is it they can do, and for people who have idea to help them. Or else, I mean, election is one trick of violence they can control. It's not issue where you go 3 people getting gun to come fight. No, it's just like a gas and just layer magic. It brings down everything in the hour of a second. So we don't need to take it for joke. And I don't lot of posts on social media to tell the president that if you take anything for joking like bro, don't never take election for joke. Any mistake with election, the military take over, they will be protected. Because you mess the constitution or you mess the election or you want to rig election, and the consequence will be terrible. So the president had to ensure political will to get the money for NEC to get the work done and make sure that political parties and other people are actively aware about what is it going to do.
Okay. Are there ways for officials or the National Elections Commission to curtail the issue of choking? Because
it's difficult.
Okay.
Difficult because the way the system arranged, like in it was an election where we raised the whole issue about trucking. But guess what? Madam Sadi was living in Monrovia. She voted in Bomi. She said our home.
Mm-hmm.
The Kukoya, the then chairman of the election commission went to Bon County and raised her. So you can't be telling me raise her the way you live,
mm-hmm.
but then those who are supposed to be enforcing the law, breaking the law. That's it. So it's difficult.
Okay.
Because we don't have a system where we have your apartment is fully addressed, your biometric ID card is tied into your way you live, your address, everything there. But I can get a biometric system. I don't know how the system will be looking at, but these are some I'm going to look for. Well, if I register here, I can vote anywhere. I mean, it's a lot of information I would need. But yes, it's a challenging to stop trucking. It's because those who do the trucking are those that get money working for the government.
Mm-hmm.
It's the minister who want to run. It's the senator who want to go for re-election. It's the representative who want to go for re-election. It's the ruling party trucking people. So how do you stop it?
All right, this morning we have Mr. Eli D. Jawolo as our guest. He's the executive director of NIMBOD, Partner for Democratic Development, and we're talking election matters. We're also talking his activities there at NIMBOD, and we're also going to be diving into governance as we go on. If you want to join us, you can call us on 077-527-1672, 077-527-1672, and if you're out of Liberia, you call on +231-775-27-1672 and 0886-449-850 or +231-886-449-850. This program is live on KM Radio International and KM YouTube View, and our boy there in Sino, the man Sagasha, is also relaying this program on Buto Radio in Sino County. We are great to have all of you following us, all of our followers, and we're hoping that we can have a very, very friendly and fascinating conversation. Let's jump into the president promises. We're getting to governance.
This kind of governance issues.
Okay, so we will talk about it. Your wish, because I just want to, yeah. But now the issue of governance. I was reading last night, and I started to know that governance is very good, right? The only way you have a country or a government succeeding is by having a good governance. But in your own words, what could be your own definition of governance to a government?
So, to make it very easy, governance is the management of the state.
Okay.
How do you manage the state? Then we have political governance. Political governance is basically decision making.
Okay.
In the way you develop policy. Then we have administrative governance. How do you implement this policy?
Okay.
So over the years, we have serious problems with governance. You know that they're working because bad governance, or the issue about politicians are accountable, fake campaign promises. So all the things brought the country back. In fact, when we're in Singapore recently, a research I was done by the Afrobarometer said that 75% of the people in the West Africa region support democracy as a form of government. Of that same research, 80% of the people thought that the second people who want to change the constitution for third term, they rejected that.
Okay.
So the 1% of the people thought that the military takeovers were wrong. But then we come back to the whole issue about governance. During the 80s and the 90s, there was a lot of focus on the military. It's a military coup around Africa, all this document. So the new phase of governance was, let's make the military non-political.
Okay.
Let's build the capacity of the military. Let's get a professional military. So we spend a lot of money in building a military that is so professional, so respected, and we pay less attention to political parties. So you see, political parties that are managing the state are less competent than the military that we have right now. Not only in Liberia. You saw the demonstration in Sierra Leone when the military got on the street.
Sure.
Or force for good. You saw the military take war in Guinea. Was celebrated because we have built a military that is respectful, that is more professional, that people believe in than believing in their own political party.
Okay.
So that's the challenge. How do we do the balance? How do we ensure that political institutions can live up to the expectation to deliver good governance? Make sure people have water to safe drinking water. Access to safe drinking water, to electricity. Common thing that people need, the bread and butter issues that politicians should deliver, they can't deliver it. So people are now losing trust in politicians and building trust in the military. And that's the challenge that we need to work on.
Now, what are those factors that determine a good governance?
Services.
Okay.
Services, healthcare, education, security, basic social services. That's what government should be providing. Responsiveness. So for example, I was telling somebody, if I have a driver lesson and my driver lesson expired, do I need to go to one Ministry of Transport to get it? You can make the system so responsive to the fact that I can go online, fill in the form, you already have my fingerprint. I pay the money online, I give you address, you drive my driver lesson right to KMTV. The system has to be responsive. What is it that the Ministry of Post Affairs doing in Liberia? What is it doing? They should be doing what to deliver my driver lesson, my renewed driver lesson. They should be able to deliver my citizen ID card. Everything that they need to do in the country. But you have a Ministry of Post Affairs that posts nothing. You have a electricity corporation that are not even responsive to what the people want to do, because they're not responsive. You see, people are just stealing the current. If you have a problem with your meter, it takes like a year, and people will not be waiting. The same people that work in the LDC company, how do we decentralize? How do we make sure that every electoral district have an office for water and electricity that will in 72 hours they can respond to anything? Set a system where the community and the electricity corporation work together. Okay. And whosoever districts that raise a lot of money get percentage for national development in that particular district. You will make the people to take ownership of protecting LDC.
Are there barriers to effective governance?
Yeah, barriers. When you have people who are incompetent,
okay. When
you have people who believe that getting government job is basically to just be safe, they can do anything with the national budget, they can distribute the money more themselves, they care less about how other people feel. And when the people start losing trust in the system, when people lose trust in the court system, when people don't trust the court system anymore, when people don't even trust the police, when the anti-graft institution are not effective anymore, when people feel that government officials just corrupt, it's undermine good governance.
Are there threats?
Yes, it get people to be agitated. It get people to don't respect the rule of law. You get people to be violent. It made the society lawless. Look at the country looking today. The country looks so lawless. Look at the amount of people that die. I always think about the late Barton Newsom, my good friend, and look at the issue about the peace ambassador, Reverend Richard Arotobo. The people die and the police will not even say a point until people start talking. The police should be updating on the cases. What a report from the late William Arotobo, a peace ambassador who worked in the government. What is it? Right after toss a report at the end of death. So the police are doing, they're not even responsible. They're not working for the people. You see the police more active in protest than any other thing they're doing. You see the issue about drugs on the street. What is the government doing? There's so much thing that undermine good governance in Liberia that's just showing every day.
Why? Why right now Liberia needs a good governance?
People need to get good governance. First of all, you need the people who can transform.
Okay.
Leadership, transformation leadership. You need servant leadership. You don't have people who work in government basically to serve the president.
All right.
Look at, for example, the president have done the 15-county tour. Up to today, there's no report on how much was spent. There's no report how much was spent, what is it that we achieved from the president going to the 15 counties. Nothing. That's bad governance. That's completely bad governance. The president left from here, the government left from here, went to Nima, they had a retreat. What a report. What were the concert note on the retreat? What were the end of the retreat? What were the key activities? What were the expected outcome? How much did they spend for the retreat? No information. Not bad governance. You have a legislature that increased their budget to $68 million for 2022. They don't have one voting record. They have no record, no website, no nothing to think about. Not bad governance. Until people can be accountable, responsive, and work for the people, it make a difference. Every appointed elected leaders are accountable to the people. Because you represent the people. Nobody representing political parties. When President Weah take a people and go to counter for retreat, it's not CDC, it's the Liberian people. What you going to do? The President Weah decided to take our taxpayer money to go to the 15 counties to have a stage managed town hall meetings where you tell people what to say and bring special people there. Liberian people need to know how much money was spent for that and what they were achieved for that. You're going to be looking at a road project from ELW Junction to Ralphie. People complaining, what a blueprint of the road. If we can see the blueprint of the road, right?
How you know how the road will look
Yeah,
like?
you see the blueprint of the road, and you know the cost of the road, and you know the company that are doing the work. That's transparency. It's a lot that we need to do in order to promote good governance in our country, and been lacking from generation to generation.
That would be a bit.
From Manaseri period to this period, it keep running. I don't see anything. I don't even feel that anybody in a race, somebody new hearing, even win election can move Liberia anywhere.
Oh.
Yes, because listen to most of them, they have no idea how to run the country. Have you seen any politician, any candidate talk about the local government act? Have you heard it? The local government act is that driver that if fully implemented can move Liberia to a better level. No politician speak on these issues. Since the local government act was passed in 2018, there have been no money in the budget to roll out the local government act because people still want to control government from the Capitol building and from the executive mansion. So people suffer.
That would be a bit hypothetical. How is governance related to government? Because I'm asking these questions because of our followers. You understand? This is very educative, and I think these are some of the things that people need to know about.
Okay.
You know.
So let me just get it to example. So I said political governance is basically decision making in the way you formulate policy, right?
All right.
Administrative governance is the implementation of that policy. But who control is the government. It's the government that control. It's the government that will bring people together to discuss the particular policy. It's the government that will generate the budget through the executive, to the legislature. The legislature will pass the budget and go back to the executive to implement. That oversight function, all these different things, is the management part of you have a government, what is the CDC-led government, but the management of the different activity is the government process.
Okay.
What the oversight committees from the legislature saying about RIA, we hold the confirmation hearing. Boom, they spoke. But I bet you, they came out for 1 month, the president called in the kings, a constitutional requirement. I bet the legislature will never tell you how much they gave them to come back.
Okay.
And what is it they achieve. They're going to be out in a community running campaign with money they got, but they will never tell us, yes, the president invited us, we came, the government, the executive gave us $2 million for coming back. These are the work we did. Nothing.
With the way
No, there's no information on the census. When they came up with the electoral discussion, they said they added something about if the law passed, after some time the maestro wouldn't have a job, they raised issue, they go to so bush, you can see it. They're talking about the HPX bill, all these things. We should know. We came back, we spent 1 month, because this. And these are the issues that were discussed. These are the bill we passed, these are the issues that were in committee room, we discussed when we come back. Nothing. So you there representing people. What you expect the people to do? If the people are not going to cry up on the pension bill, how bill going to pass? So they feel that the more people get to understand the issue, people raise issue, they will have a fallback position. So the government had to be able to do everything to strengthen democratic governance so that people can get involved into know what the government is doing. That people can have audit report, that people can have yearly report. Tell me, from the day or CDC to Anton Maraseri also there. But there's no government ministry agency that have a report about how much they did what they did with the money that was that was listed in the allocated in the national budget. For the health, for the education, you don't see it. The second thing about it is that you have public officials using Gmail and Yahoo. It's a personal email. You're a public official. You don't have a website. I work for Nemo. My email address is eddie@nemo.com. I have 2 websites. I have a website for the Young Political Leadership School. I have a website for Nemo. And we also have a lot of social media to tell people what we're doing. We've been audited. This year we've been audited twice. Okay. With international auditing institution. We got audited by Press Water and one other group. System audit. How many ministry and agencies are going through that? I mean, you have to be a serious institution to be able to get the country moving. Liberia is rich. A very rich country, but poorly managed.
With those lapses you're pointing out, are there ways to improve them in good governance?
Leadership. Okay. It's about the people.
Change of leadership, or improving on your workings.
It's about leadership, right? It's about President Weah in the CDC can say it's time to work for the people. If you see the manifesto of President Weah, it was. I mean, it's from the manifesto that, and the campaign speeches that we developed our president media tracker. They were some of the best promises you saw, and you could see that just implementing this could move our country forward. But the issue is you want to be a standard bearer, but you have no idea about why you want a job. Somebody come and push you because you have popularities, and that person wisdom is the one you're using. So the CDC may have a very good manifesto that are written by a consultant. They are not even ready. Okay. They usually win election account. They left it. They develop what they call the proper agenda. Yes, some link, but then when you measure the proper agenda, it's a problem.
What have been your own role in putting this government feet to the fire, beginning with this?
I've done that's the government from Mother City government. Okay, we've done a lot in terms of identifying, first of all the promises that are done by President Weah, all the things he's going to do. We map everything.
Why you think the number was huge, but then accomplishing some of them, accomplishing those promises is just a little?
Because some very unrealistic. Okay. If you say you improve healthcare, how can I research that? So whatever contribution into the healthcare system is ongoing promises. Okay. If you say you build 3 hospitals, right? If a 3 hospitals is built, it's completed. If you say you train 30 doctors, if the 30 doctors train and we can see that, we can verify, it's completed. If you say you improve healthcare, it has no limit. Okay. So you see that 38% of the promises are ongoing. Then 7% completed, but 38 ongoing. All right. Because most of the promises are very unrealistic. That's why politicians need good political parties. You have a research department, a good lawyer, an accountant, economy, everything you need to run a government. Good political parties should have such a structure. No political party we can just talk. I was disappointed when I saw politicians running to Capitol to the U.S. embassy to protest or commend the U.S. government. You don't need that. You don't need that. The president, the U.S. government now going to put sanctions on the people. What are you going to do? You want to use the sanction for political reason? So all the politicians that went to that embassy to protest, shame it. Yeah, because it means nothing for me. Okay. I thought they were going to use this report. All the opposition political parties, it has sense. If 15 political parties sign a letter to the U.S. government and say this and this, it will get with an individual organizer. That's organizer. But what if they're going to take the report and issue up and engage the different radio station to talk about the danger that this sanction placed to the government, to the fact that it went to the heart of the president's office. But the opposition did not use the report to get the people to go against the government. Okay. So the government can use a report for the people to go against the opposition, to say the opposition won't suffer here. Because the opposition, the messaging was very poor. The time they told to go demonstrate, they want to take our time, use the report to go across the corner and tell people, you see what the government is doing? We told you the government is corrupt. The American people are proving it. These are the people that are close to the president. They're corrupt. They are being indicted. And we keep having them there. In fact, the people say, nobody should do business with them. Change the message that people say, they'll be afraid of them. But instead, more people fear that the opposition, they want to make the U.S. government to place sanction on the few people. So messaging, you have to be timely and you got to be strong, right? So the opposition missed that opportunity. And I think that they know they were.
Now you did your tracking, and out of the total number, just a little was accomplished by the government. Have you been able to engage them?
Yes, we send a report. I send a report to every time we do that. We send a report to the government, and we do a recommendation. So if you look at that, 11 promises completed, which constitutes 7%, while 65 promises ongoing. Ongoing, so which constitute 38%. 55 promises have not started. This was just 4 years. But as the president travel across the country, like the recent travel, we're still tracking.
Okay.
You know, now he's saying he want to build a new GFK. He talk about building a place at the Armed Forces Day. So all the promises.
You think building a new GFK and having the present GFK not, well equipped is something good?
I'm not going to say that.
But what's your own take? What's your advice if you were called to advise the president?
We need more medical doctors.
Instead of building a new GFK?
We need more medical doctor. We need more logistics. You have a very good hospital in Nima.
Okay.
You don't have a logistics. You don't have a doctor.
Jackson F. Doe.
Just have to build another new hospital at they call it Bapulu. We need the doctor. We need logistics. We need an area where we can have a helicopter that can be used as ambulance to even pick up people to drop into the area. If somebody's sick, how do they even get to Tapeta? Is that Tapeta where they had the hospital? How do they get it?
Tapeta.
Get some medical doctor that can fly in the area for a weekend and go work. Get a headquarter just for health. Invest more into not only the infrastructure that are good, but the manpower. Pay them good money, get them enough equipment, or do some exchange program for medical worker. Invest a lot. The same thing about education. We need to do more on education healthcare. Put more technology in our education system. Okay. Skills now is one leading the world. Not too much degree in political science, degree in this. Let the young people get more skills that they can be able to survive on, even or get a job, or how they can develop on their own. So a lot, and these are the things we want to hear from the political party. What your vision about the new generation? What type of education system do you want to see? What type of healthcare system do you want to see? How do we implement the local government act? What about the Labor Act? All these good laws that came up, what is it we're doing with it? Right? What do we do with this thing? We can't just, the political party should not win election and the government should be our party. No. I always say, just when loans start playing, we don't go for people from opposition political parties or the ruling party. We go outside the country and look for the best person to play on the team. If the team win the election, we all celebrate. Sure. The government should be like a team. Get the best Liberian with the skills and knowledge to get it work done. There are so many Liberians who are not member of political parties. That are doing election, you may have 2.4 million registered voters in Liberia, but you don't even have more than 1.8 million people voting because the undecided voter have not seen the reason why they should vote. The undecided voter had no reason why they should vote. Okay. Because most of the people who get in there who want to contest, message don't resonate with us. What is saying we know is not true. No state Liberia should tell me that you use a salary for project. It's not solution. Okay. We want real solution. The country is rich. We have so many resources. Too much illicit money going on. How do we stop it? How do we strengthen the justice system? How do we make sure people have access to justice? How do we increase women political participation? These are national concerns. How do we stop the drugs issue? These are things we want you to.
You have been very focused. You have been very engaged in the issue of women participation in politics. Why that? What's the sense behind it?
My research told me that more countries that have many women in leadership, many qualified competent leader women in leadership, they focus more on social services. Okay. Like health and education. These are priority issues for women. These are priority issues for women. And I feel that the country as a democratic society, it shouldn't be dominated by men. Okay. That's why you see all the women are in government. The sanction came for the men because the men are more corrupt. So I feel that there are a lot of good women around here, a lot of qualified women, and these women know how to negotiate. I want to see the president go on a trip with a lot of qualified, experienced women. Only thing that will be negotiated at different level. Nobody should go behind the president when the president go to the country and go play football. All the men go stand side. What the president wrestling, then all the people be engaging. You can't be running a government as a minister. You only wait for the money that is coming in the budget. What your personal relationship or how do you lobby to get things happening? When the president go around the country, go to the airport, he come to the airport and clap for him. No good minister for me. I will not do it. It's not my job.
This too is on governance. What's your take on those three officials that were sanctioned, though they have resigned?
Why they resigned?
They resigned because they were sanctioned for corruption. What's your own take on it?
Minister Maggie said you're going to. That was already the morning. Whether they are investigation report available because he said you're going to
The court.
go to court and get a lawyer. But I can tell you, I'm someone who's been trained by the American. I know that American will not easily allow you.
Okay.
What Americans say about this guy is very true.
Okay.
And it was just the best thing they did to resign than talking about challenging the government. Because when the Americans decided to go through investigation, Robert Hart Bush. So the best thing they could do is to resign. And I hope that resignation should not be fake. It should be real, and it shouldn't be paid for play. That you pay them off the go.
But you think with their resignation, they should be accepted in any other area, probably by contesting the election? There are clues that some of them want to go in some of the counties to contest. You think they should be accepted?
If we have a good country and serious government, we will still investigate them. If they stole money, seize the money, use it for the country. If they bought property, seize the property, sell it, and put the money back. Yes, it's not the money. So if you're proving that it's stole, if they refuse to challenge or to be investigated by the resign, it means kill.
Okay.
Yeah, so you seize the property, sell it, and get the money back to the Liberian people. It's the Liberian people money. We need to reach somewhere where a bad foreign country will do this for us. But we need to reach an area where we have to take things on our own. And we will have a financial intelligence unit. What is it dependent on? Have they ever mentioned anything? Are they tracked them before? Or they'll be afraid to say anything because the man is the minister of state, he worked with the president, so he's untouchable. But I think that was the best thing to do, and I sure that more sanction will come. And I sure that the next sanction will be people in the legislature involved.
See their faces?
Yeah, there will be people in the legislature involved. Yeah.
Okay, so in summary, what's your own take on the proceeding of the government as we move to this election?
I think the government state lack democratic accountability.
Okay.
Political accountability. Accountability that the people are not aware about how their money has been spent. People are not aware about what the government is doing. There are no website to see anything. Even you go to the president website, see nothing about what he's doing, his budget. There's nothing happening in the country. Yeah, there's a road project, a phase road. How much it costs? Yes, he's doing it. We need to know the cost, value for money.
Okay.
We need to know that. The president traveling to the UN General Assembly, yes, how many person you carrying? How much money you spending? How long you be there for? They should issue a press statement to inform Liberian people, because you work for Liberian people, then pulling social media posts. The president arrived in Washington, D.C. The president spoke to, we want more duty.
Okay.
How long the president will be out of the country, who argued with the president, what's the budget for the trip. We want to let the Ministry of Information be up to date by informing the Liberian people. If you don't inform the Liberian people will not appreciate what you're doing.
Okay.
So the gossip in the country can easily be accepted, and the government will come later say, oh no, not true. But no, the government had to be more accountable to the people. Government had to be accountable, responsive, and sensible to the people. This is a popular government, I agree. Because we are elected, people who bought their own t-shirt, their own walk distance, they believe in him, expectation were high, and we expected the president had not been fair to Liberian people that he don't speak to the nation. He have pre-recording messages. He now free to tell the Liberian what he's doing, what he's doing it for. I believe that the county tour was still managed, and we want to know how much money was spent for that. We should have the report, because he's working for the Liberian people, and that's the Liberian people money. As we go to the election, I think the Liberian people should start demanding more on the equipment. If you serve as senator, representative, and president, it is time to tell what is it I did. Okay. Why should we give you another? I want president who believes that no member of the legislature should be getting territory. I don't think they deserve it.
Whether you walk, whatever way.
What do you have to show? Why should we give somebody who going for 9 years, 10, 3 times 9, 27 years? For what? What do they have to show? A representative going 18 years, they have nothing to show for even the first 24 for 12 months going for. Okay. So for me, I don't say about these are discussions we're going to have. I'm going to focus more moving forward with young people. I'm going to mobilize the youth base to look at Liberia about any other thing. For me, up to now, I'm not seeing that Kennedy, that any picture of making Liberia the country I want to see. I think they lack the understanding about governance. They lack understanding what the country is right now and how to move the country forward. Ask any student, ask any Kenya, how many students do we have in Liberia? Ask anybody who want to be president in the country, ask them how many students, how many health workers, how many teachers. If you don't know this number, how will you make decisions for them?
Okay.
We shouldn't be joking with them. We shouldn't get the country to any joker anymore. Liberia is rich, it needs zero-minded people to manage it. Zero-minded people.
You have been around and you are more involved into youth activities. What's your expectation on Liberia in the next 10 years?
It's difficult because for me, everything on Liberia ties into leadership. If I say in the next 10 years, Liberia be better, but you get a president of kind of power and care less about young people, what do I say? It will require that leader that will come out and develop a program for young people. Real program. I expected that president, we are going to do that. We were one president who was taking more, how they call it, a national youth service program where more young people will get scholarship, go to school, graduate, and work for the government. We want more young people go start working through local government. We want to get a local government out working so that the county council can have space for young people so that everybody can just focus on most of the county. We are doing a lot of work, but the government is not working. We worked on recently talking about the passing of the revenue sharing bill. That bill will be giving every county that generates revenue a percentage of development. We want more young people to go back in the county and work with the people. But before you go in the county and work, you got to be trained by a politician. You got to be recognized by a senator, rep. We need an independent amount of young people who will go to government and make a difference. And to make any decision on what Liberia will be there in the next 10, 15, 20 years, I will ask the same question in Dubai, is level of leadership we need. Liberia needs leaders, transformation leaders that will transform the country, that will have vision. And not any person that will come here get 20 cars behind you with bodyguard protecting you 24 hours and feed out because you safe, everybody's safe. No. Want a leader that will know that when you live in a house and get electricity, your neighbor need electricity. Want a leader that will know that when you live in a house and your children go to good school, your neighbor children want to go to good school. Want a leader that will know that when you live in a house and eat good food, your neighbor want to eat good food. Do you see in Liberia where people go to creation, one family celebrate for 1 week and the next family can even celebrate?
Sure.
We can't run a country like that. We need a leader that will care for everybody. And that leader is missing in Liberia. It's missing among political parties. It's missing in our country. We need to start finding those leaders that can make the country move forward.
We need to find a leader that will make Liberia move forward. Liberia needs transformation, so say Mr. Eddie D. Jawolo. He's the Executive Director of Nimble Partner for Democratic Development. Finally, just before you give us your concluding statement, to re-amplify, the International Day of Democracy will be held where?
It will be at the Smart Liberia. It's a place right behind City Hall.
Oh, okay.
In Pastor Charlatan Road. I'll be there. We're bringing together 60 active young people. Okay. But it's about invitations. So we want to
okay.
Our speakers are all set. They're very excited to engage. That will be a very big program. To have the UN resident coordinator. Okay. To have the program officer on democracy and good governance from the Swiss Embassy. To have the political and economic officer from the U.S. government. And for the government, U.S. government will be focused on the Magnitsky Eye.
Ah, okay.
That particular act is the one that put the sanction. So that will be time.
That's the act that gave our menace trouble. And hoping the next time I will be granted an invitation.
Please, we'll do that. Yes.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's we'll do that. That's a quarterly program I put together, and I bring you people from different political background to sit in a room and look at the 13 principles of democracy. Okay. Besides that, we also have a radio program called the Democracy by Radio. Okay. That program is 10 to 11 to 12 every Friday on OKFM. Okay. Where we take people from different parties, CDC, AMC, Unity Party, sit in the studio and look at the principles and have a discussion now. In Bon County on Radio Banga, we have the local government radio. We have 1 hour where people will explain the local government law and ask people to have a discussion. It's based on a law, on a program that the civil society in Bon County took the legislature to the court, and the court ruled for the implementation of that. There's a lot of work we're doing.
Thank you so much this morning, Dad, for passing, and we're hoping that we can have another time so you come and educate our people. Thank you very so kindly. And finally.
Yes, so I think Liberia have another opportunity in 2023. I always tell my peer that if you want a good country, you should have a good leaders. And to get a good leader is the way we vote. It's time for Liberians to go beyond party, to go beyond trap, to go beyond money, and to look at somebody who have a dream, a vision, who have the experience and the track record of success. If people are not successful, you vote for them to be lawmaker they will not be successful.
Sure.
If people are not successful to be senator, when you made them senator, they will not be successful. If people are not successful in their life, you made them president, you will not be successful. To the level that when the pastor in the church not successful, you go to that church, they pray for you not be successful. So we need people who are successful to be given a chance to move our nation forward. That's successful, not too much about the money, but your track record can prove that you're somebody who can start something and make it work. Nobody came in the world with any money. We all came very poor, broke, and naked. There are other people who are moving forward because they way they think. A nation with all vision, the people perish. So the leader have to have a vision. If I have a leader who don't speak to the people who are around managed by sickle fam, the country will be the way it looked at today. So yes, tell Liberia to be strong, we're resilient, but we need to hold our leaders accountable.
We are resilient, but we need to hold our leaders accountable. Great presentation here this morning with the Honorable, he said I'm not calling him Honorable, with Mr. Eddie D. Jawolo. He's the Executive Director of NIMBO, Partner for Democratic Development. And just to acquaint you with what some of those things we're talking about, we'll talk about the activities of NIMBO, we'll talk about elections, take into consideration we have months to the 2023 general and presidential election. So we'll also talk about governance, governance and good governance, the bad ones as well, we'll talk about it. And then we'll talk about the International Day of Democracy that is slated for the 15th of September 2022. Hoping the next one I can be a part, like he said. I'm humble. Thanks to all of our followers. Thanks to the guy there at Buto Radio 102.3 in Sino County. We'll be back here on tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be having a representative aspirant of District Number 9, Montserrado County, Abraham. He will be here tomorrow as our guest by 10 o'clock to discuss his dream for District 9 and what he think Frank Safoko is that doing that he want to do. He'll be here to tell us exactly. Thanks so very kindly for following us, and I want to say thanks to the technical team here. Until tomorrow, be back. I'm bidding you a pleasant rest of the Tuesday from Liberia. Bye bye.
Nuku is contesting against poverty. He's contesting against underdevelopment.
So we have been involved in the community. The issue of doing something, showing a footprint. We have actually been involved in the community doing things.
The whole issue about elections, the candidate tell the people, who are you? Why you want a job?
Most of the major challenge in my GB, especially the young folks.
We want that tax to come with compensation.
Okay.
We empowered those young people with employment opportunities.
Okay.
For me, it was imperative because these were young people that were disenfranchised and marginalized in our society.
Even in the opposition, his political leader Benin Ayer, zero disagreement with Costa because of that.
Settle with Honorable Cabinet Janet. We owe him, and it is already been said that indeed we should pay.
Would you a Mexican to be Liberian Honorary Consul in Mexico? The answer is no.
They are not charging the national president the fact and the truth of leadership.
Okay.
They are very unfair.
A lot of young people benefited from a scholarship, including President Chairman Molu. I look forward to a day when President Buya will suspend Mobake Molu for not controlling the partisans for attacking candidates.
We need to teach civics in all schools across the country. We need for citizens to know their basic duties and responsibilities.
The Constitution is for the people. And before the people make now a constitutional amendment, they must be educated on what they are making.
When they receive this information, they don't even verify. They don't look at the questions on the actual test. There are times I will give a children maybe 40 questions, they give us 50 answers. What do they take the additional 10 questions from?
We have gone through a process. If you realize that you are not satisfied, launch a proper investigation. Let this investigation go on, and then we realize who did wrong or who are the perpetrators, and then they be brought to book and to the public, right?
Show them that we'll work together in making sure we can get to the bottom of this investigation in establishing the perpetrator of the act.
When we have leadership, key actors, key players in the opposition community, we have protection under the law. But even right now, the Liberian National Police is a partisan police.
Nuku is contesting against poverty. He's contesting against underdevelopment.
So we have been involved in the community, the issue of, doing something, showing a footprint. We have actually been involved in the community doing things.
The whole issue about elections, they can't tell the people who are you, why you want a job.
Most of the major challenge in my GB, especially the young folks.
We want that tax to come with compensation.
Okay.
We empowered those young people with employment opportunities.
Okay.
For me, it was imperative because these were young people that were disenfranchised and marginalized in our society.
Even in the opposition, his political leader, Benin Ayur, zero disagreement with Costa because of that.
Settle with Honorable Cabinet Janet. We owe him, and it is already been said that indeed we should pay.
Would you a Mexican to be Liberian Honorary Consul in Mexico? The answer is no.
They are not charging the national president the fact and the truth of leadership.
Okay.
They are very unfair.
A lot of young people benefited from a scholarship, including President Shemamolu. I look forward to a day when President Buya will suspend Mobake Molu for not controlling the partisans for attacking candidates.
We need to teach civics in all schools across the country. We need for citizens to know their basic duties and responsibilities.
The Constitution is for the people. And before the people make now a constitutional amendment,